'cause I look crazy on top of. Okay, it looks like it's spotlighted. I don't know who it's spotlighted
Recording
on.
in progress.
Did I do that right?
You did.
Yep. I think that-
So now, if you could make me the host, oh, never mind. You don't have to make me the host. I just reclaim it.
There you go.
Okay. So I'm gonna fake post it to live to Facebook, and we'll be there.
That's right. Look at
Here
that.
we
Look
go.
at that. Look. Figured it out.
It's working itself out.
Hey, it always does, right?
Every single time.
Yeah.
Let me just find the WOW page and then we'll be good to go. Almost there. Come on. It's going super, super duper slow for my. Oh, we're live. All right. So, thank you, everyone, for tuning in today to WOW Ways to Wealth. And the importance of having wealth is even more critical today than it ever has been, ever. I am the founder of WOW, Women Helping Other Women, and WOW stands for empowering. Well, our mission is to empower women to advance in education, employment, and entrepreneurship. And today we are being educated on our finances and our budgeting and how we can live more successful lives. And we normally have a sponsor that tunes in, and today, since we have the wonderful Miss Sandra Tolliver online, Miss Sandra, if you could take 1 minute and tell people about your wonderful legal business and how people can get involved if they do you help with bankruptcy?
No, not at all.
Okay, well, tell them about other ways they can be helped, because finances are important. And if you have child support, she greatly can help with that. That I do know. So Sandra, take the floor, and you are our honorary sponsor for today.
Okay, Crystal, thank you very much. Just so y'all know, I am also the membership chair on the board of WOW. So I believe in our mission 100%. As far as I'm an attorney, I'm a Tulsa native. I practiced 38 years and I've done a variety of things, but I do a lot of family law and a lot of commercial litigation. So with respect to finances, from my perspective, it's planning. You know, if there's going to be a change in your family, or there has been a change in your family, obviously planning is very, very important. I don't do estate planning, but I deal with child support. I deal with modifications, and parents do need to know how to modify child support if their circumstances change. then just in general, you litigate by making a business decision. Litigating is going to the courthouse, filing a lawsuit, or defending a lawsuit. You don't do it with your emotion. You do a cost benefit analysis of the cost of the litigation, the risk that you take, because there's no guarantee in court. So I help individuals and small businesses along all those lines. Thank you.
And how can they find you?
Oh, my website is www.tolliverlawoffice.com. My email is stolliver, TOLLIV as in Victor, ER at tolliverlawoffice.com. Phone 918-743-4400. I do have a Facebook page that was created by Boss Encounters, Crystal Ifakoya.
Thank you. So thank you, Sandra. That was absolutely amazing. Thank you, James, for allowing this space where you are helping us with RL. Is it? I can't think today, but it is RL Enterprises, if I'm not mistaken. Um, uh, Going forward, I'm going to let one of the people on his team, Miss Shauna, tell us more about what you're talking about. So I'm gonna turn the floor over to you, and you're gonna close us out today because I'm probably going to be driving the rest of the way.
Yes. Am I on?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. So yes, my name is Shoshana Smith. I am a financial literacy with Riley Enterprises. And today I'm going to be discussing 7 types of budgeting. And I'm going to share my screen shortly so that I can discuss the 7 different budgeting. Let's see. Let's see. It's not allowing me to bring it up. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, give it a moment for it to load. Everyone see this?
Yeah, it should come up soon. It's still loading.
Technology, right? You gotta love it.
Yes, yeah, that's true. Okay, awesome.
Okay, can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So, as I discussed before, here's the 7 types of budgeting. My name, again, Shoshana Smith. I'm Director of Financial Literacy with the wonderful Riley Enterprises, who is helping people towards financial freedom. Yay. So, these 7 types of budgeting tools and tips are meant for business primarily, but can also be used in personal planning. Budgets are definitely necessary to make sure you are consciously taking into consideration the financial needs of yourself or your business. And 2, you are being a good steward over the resources that God has blessed you with. And 3, in order to properly plan for the future, budgets are necessary to show your past and present, to be able to document, be able to keep in line with where your finances are going and where you want you forecast them. It's definitely not. First thing we're going to be talking about is the fixed or static budgets. The fixed or static budgets they remain the same regardless of the actual levels of changes in the activity. So I'm going to give the opportunity that if you have questions at the end of each different budgeting that we talk about. So therefore, because since there are 7, there may want you to be confused about any of them. So if any of you have questions, please let me know and I will handle them right after I finish this topic. Fixed static budget, they remain the same. They're not changing. So it's basically that for instance, it's used in a business, but also personal. For example, like your utility bills, when you're forming your budget, your utility bills, they change. They may go a couple of dollars higher, a couple of dollars lower, depending on, your usage. So with this budget that you're not actually taking into account of these. So you allot a certain amount of money in that budget per activity. So it does use historic data, what was done in the past. So let's say, since we're talking about utility bills, if you're talking about, let's say, water bills, your water bill, it's about maybe $90 to $100. So you're going to put $90 to $100 in that budget, and that's not going to change. You're not going to change it. You're not going to vary it. It's just going to be, $90 max. Obviously, the cons is that it's not the best due to the fact that variances are bound to happen. Example, utility bills, right? Your water is going to change, your electricity is going to change. Grocery bills are definitely changing. Gas bills definitely change. This is the first one that we're talking about, the fixed static budget. Anybody has any questions, like I said, please let me. The next one we're going to talk about is a flexible variable budget, flexible or variable budget.
Shoshana, can you change the pages so we can see the PowerPoint, each page bigger?
I'm sorry?
Can you click the page that you're talking about? Because the big page is still the intro page.
Is it? Okay, because I'm definitely moving. So I guess it's moving with me. Again, technology. I love it. Let's see. Let me get back on it. Okay, so are we still on the title page or the introduction?
No, incremental budgets now. Thank you.
Okay. So the next one was actually the flexible or can you see this? Flexible variable budgets?
Yes, you've got it now. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Let's see. Okay. Wait, why is it not moving? Let's see now. Okay, we're talking about the flexible variable budgets. And the definition is an adaptable method which adjusts to changes in costs and revenue in real time. So in this budget, it's continuously changing. It begins with the static framework. So basically, it's based on costs that are likely to change and layers of flexible budgeting system on top of that to allow for other costs to fluctuate. So your flexible budgets are assigned the activities by dividing them into fixed and variable. So each activity can change the level of actual results. And budgeting can also be changed and adjusted. Flexible budgets allow adjusting at each activity level and help management achieve targets. It offers top management operating and planning variance by comparing the revised budgets with the original and then with actual. So in this budget, like I stated before, it's continuously changing. And it's based on the activities. If it was a business, business activities, let's say your events or celebrations, etc. And based on what you did last year or last month, that changes as it goes on. So it could be changed monthly, quarterly, and or yearly. So it may start where you make a lot, even in personal, as we were talking about with the fixed one. If you start with, for utilities, you start with your electricity as in having anywhere from $60 to $90 in there. And this month, let's say you go up to about 110, 130, then you would add for your next month that extra, that percentage more in your next budget. So that's continuously changing, and it allows you to not be so strict and not having a wiggle room to make changes for your business or better actually your personal finances. The next one we're going to talk about is incremental budgets. Is everyone on the same page? Everyone see that incremental budgets?
Yes.
All right. So incremental budget, process of creating a new budget by making minor changes to the current budget. So even from that definition, you instantly think of the flexible or variable budget, because it's not completely different. It's just you're creating, you're starting from ground zero. You're not just changing the variables, but you're starting all over every time there's a change. You use the current year's budget as a baseline and then adjust with additions or subtractions by incremental. So like we was talking about with utilities for personal, you would add, let's say, 10% for the water or 20% for the electricity based on what do you see is happening in their actual amounts. And it can apply also to quarterly or monthly budgets. But the cons is that it's less useful for dynamic and rapidly changing businesses like retail, because retail is continuously changing in the seasons. And so there's no way to really keep track of that. So this is a budget not too far from the flexible budget. And it's suitable for large businesses with a stable market share and fixed growth rates. And yes, so the next one we're going to talk about is the zero-based budgeting. The zero-based budgeting is a method of budgeting in which all expenses must be justified for each new period. So you definitely have to have a reason for anything that's going to budget. So if it's financial, if it's for a business, then you have to have a reason for whatever budget that you create. So if it's an event, you have to have a budget for everything: food, venue, decorations, awards, if necessary, that kind of thing. There has to be an actual justification for each thing, for each expense. It starts with the zero base. So whereas the other budgets that kind of started from the prior years in history, this starts with a zero every time. And every function within an organization is analyzed for its needs and costs. So again, talking about business, if you have employees, you're analyzing and discussing the necessity for each employee, for each separate entity within that business, and the reasons for it. Is it justified, or can it be liquefied? Can it be dissolved? Can it be moved with something else or combined with something else, right? This does not account for the last year's activity level, but takes each activity as the new one. Like I said, it does start at zero. So you're not looking at last year, what happened last year. Every year you start, you're saying, okay, brand new year, we're starting new. What do we have? What are we planning for? What are we budgeting for? Why are we budgeting for it? And deciding what to do with it, how much we're going to allot for this year, or this month, or this quarter, how much we're going to allot for it. The budgets are then built around what is needed, as I said before, for the upcoming period, regardless of whether each budget is higher or lower than the previous one. So let's say last year you had, let's say $20,000 for employees last year. But this year you realize you're checking out the functions and the need, the necessity for each position, and you find out that you don't need nearly as many as you had before. So you're decreasing in that. So with that, obviously your budget is going to be lower, because if you're just decreasing the amount of employees, the amount of materials or supplies, that would decrease that amount. And that's how you go with zero-based budgeting. But every year, or every new budgeting period, you're starting again from zero. So you're starting to analyze it. It's a lot of analyzing. It's a lot of determining your costs to need kind of services. The next one we're going to talk about is your activity-based budget. Your activity-based budgets is a system that records, researches, and analyzes activities that lead to costs for a company. So this is purely based on activities. And as I stated before, this is kind of mainly for your business, not necessarily for personal, simply because it's based on activities. Unless you're the type of person that likes to travel, likes to, eat out a lot, and those are budgets that you can base primarily on activity every year. But as far as, your business, like I said, you have to plan for accounting, you have to plan for employees, your help, your stationery, your supplies, your manufacturers, and all of these other costs. And then you allot a certain amount of money within each of them, within each of these budgets. And you have to definitely always research the best costs, analyze the activities that lead to costs for a company, for that company. Every activity in an organization that incurs a cost is scrutinized for potential ways to create efficiencies. That's why there's so much research. That's why there's so much analyzation, because if it's not necessary, it's not going to be in that budget. Budgets are developed based on the results of all of the research and all of the analyzations. It does not consider the past year's budget to arrive at the current year's budget. So this is another zero-based budgeting system, but it's purely based on what the business or what the person is doing, not on the actual customer base or the best practices for the clients or customers. It does eliminate irrelevant and only the necessary activities form a part of the business. And it does help businesses to save costs. But like I said, it's just primarily, that's why it's mostly for businesses, because it is primarily for businesses because of the fact that it's the activities. There's so many more activities within a business than there is mostly. I'm not going to say all the time, but like mostly there are more activities in the business itself than in a person's life, right? Our personal life. Unless, like I said, you like to travel a lot, you like to eat out a lot. These are different activities and that you would allot a budget to, right? The next one would be our rolling budget. Rolling budget is a budget that is kept continuously updated monthly or quarterly throughout the year. It always looks out to the future, so you're never starting from scratch. So this is definitely not a zero-based budgeting activity. It takes into account your most recent actuals to forecast your future budget, so it's more accurate. The flexibility of this budget model allows you to plan in increments versus plan for the year all at once. The great option for early stage startups and business. Because it's continuously updated monthly or quarterly, it looks at what's happening, what's effective for your business, what's effective in your life. This can be used personally because of the fact that it is updated and the fact that you're not starting from scratch. So you can use this personally as determining where your money is going and what you want your money to do in the future. So how much are you saving? How much you're using to take care of your daily costs? How much are you using to plan for your future? How much of it is going to your splurges, right? So based on what happened, let's say the last month or your last quarter, you're changing that budget continuously. So this is also a very good budget to start with in your personal life as well as for businesses. The next one is called the Beyond. Next one and last one, excuse me, it's called the Beyond Budgeting Approach. This is technically a newer version because it's not just, hold on. Let's see if I can bring up my screen. There we go. So the definition is a framework aimed at establishing a highly decentralized organizational system and adaptive set of management processes. It has an agile business structure, an approach that focuses on people and continuous improvement to the system through shorter development cycles. The modern approach to budgeting is continuously change and adapting to the changes in the business environment with both external and internal factors. It does call for more flexibility, responsiveness, and a collective approach features often lacking traditional budget. Because it continuously updates budgets on a monthly or quarterly basis, as in a rolling budget, it is a good system to use. The key performance indicators and critical success factors are monitored regularly, which provides the best performance and control measures to the management team. As an agile business structure, which is an approach that focuses on people and continuous improvements to the system through shorter development cycles, which was developed in early 2000. And it, as an agile business structure, it does have 4 foundational values. The first one is that individuals and interactions are processes and tools. So it does take into account the actual client, the client necessity and the client needs and wants in your business, within your business. And the tools in which that you need to make your business better. The second one is working software. They take into account working software over comprehensive documentation. They want to make sure that everything that you need, it is in working order, and you're not just using it until something bad happens to it. You want to make sure that it is 100% at all times. So this is a beyond budgeting approach, which takes into account the fact of your materials, your clients, your customer collaborations over your contract negotiation, and definitely responding to change over following. So if something is definitely not in your budgeting plan, it takes that into account and then plans for it immediately instead of waiting for the next quarter or waiting for the next month or year to fix it. So it's continuously changing. And to be continuously changing, obviously, there's a lot of research and a lot of analyzing for that as well. Yes, that is the 7th one. And the summary is that, let's see. Okay, so there are 7 different types of budgeting to choose from in which you can better manage your business and your life. I didn't say so, but in beyond budgeting, the beyond budgeting approach can be used both in business and in your personal life as well. But in all fixed, static, flexible, or variable, incremental, beyond budgeting, zero-based, activity-based, rolling budgets are different types. They're slightly different. They're not completely different as much as the beyond budgeting approach. But definitely in each one of them, you want to make sure to choose one or combinations of budgets that best suits needs for your business and for your life. And at the bottom, I did list where I received my information from. And I just want to say thank you so much for your time. And thank you for the WHO for allowing us to speak and share this information. And I ask now if you have any other questions or comments that you'd like to provide. I am here and open and ready for them. You can reach me. There's my email and there's our website. Thanks again.
Where are y'all located?
We are located in Texas.
You're in Texas?
Yes.
So what does Riley Enterprises do specifically when you're trying to teach someone financial literacy? I thought this was very helpful. I haven't heard of the different types of budgets. I think that's something that, we need to be sharing, and we'll encourage people to watch this video within WOW. But I was just curious, tell us more about Riley Enterprises.
Wow, of course. Definitely. So we at the Riley Enterprises, we look at the whole person. So if they have a business at, what's going on with their business. How do they start? Do they have the right formations? What are they doing as far as where their money is going and how is it being spent? We make sure that it's separate from their personal lives, having two different, it's very important. And we emphasize that with each client. And we want to make sure that their finances personally are doing well as well. So that making sure that they have savings correctly, that um, they have put away for the cost of the business, or they have put away for their future life, for their for generational wealth, etc. And we take each one as a case by case basis. So basically, whatever our client is needing, we are a full service firm about to actually endeavor in life insurance. So, and that kind of savings. Did I say that right? Mr. Riley?
Oh no, I'll let you go. I'll just sit here. But no, Shauna did a wonderful job. So we've been blessed, and we've been in business for 12 years actually. May 19th is our 12th year business anniversary next month. So we do business in 9 different states, and we're also a global financial firm because we do business in Eastern Europe, in Romania, North Africa, in Egypt, and we also do business in one of the U.S. territories and Guam as well. So we our influence stretches a little bit of ways. Still more territories to get into, but yeah, we service anywhere from small businesses, nonprofits, mid-sized companies, and also to corporations. So we hit every spectrum that there is, and my team, of course, including Shauna, my director of financial literacy, makes that happen because it's not just me or my wife. So not any for a long time now. So it could be a major question as far as hey, I was looking at trust funds. What's the best trust fund to put my my assets in, right? Or it could be as simply as, hey, you're trying to figure out how you can pay off your credit card debt, right? So whatever those questions are, whatever a person needs, we're able to fit that need.
Do you have any free videos on your website or YouTube channel?
So as far as free videos, we have some videos out there on our Facebook page, or we have a lot of information. So we have a lot of informational posts as well. So you can find that on our a LinkedIn page. You can find that on our website. You can find that on our business Facebook page. I think that's all. There's videos on YouTube as well that have myself or someone on my company as well on those. So we do, so we have a mixture of videos and of course informational posts. We're big on putting out the right information out there. So I'm not big on just touching on the basics. The basics are important, of course, but you have to expand on that. You have to know the advanced stuff too that are not said out there in the public mostly. So I'm big on that, and my team knows that. That's why today we're talking about budgets that people might have heard or people might not have heard of. So I'm big on putting that information out there so people know about it.
Well, we appreciate that because a lot of women in WOW are small business owners, entrepreneurs trying to take their evening gig, their side gig, and make it into a real business, or they're trying to further their skills with employment or education. So getting back to basic budgeting is very vital. And like I said, when I have clients that are facing divorce and the male or the female may not know their own finances, so we appreciate the financial literacy challenge and goal. Education is very important from my perspective on anything in your life really, but we appreciate you being here, I can tell you.
Sure. No, we're happy to to help, happy to inform. and happy to serve. Me and my wife, had a we have a lifestyle for a reason because we serve, and that's how we get what we have. There's no necessary secret to it. That's what you have to do in business, right? You have to give something first in order to receive something back.
Right.
I think that basic principle, not even speaking on finances, but that basic principle alone will give you a hand up, so to speak, right? So I think uh, that has to, for that has to be known in the business world. If you come into business, if you want to call yourself a business owner, you have to be willing to understand that services are really above all with that. That's how you grow. Not so much just thinking about how much you can gain, but sometimes you have to think about others, and you have to make sure, like, hey, well, how can everyone else gain? So that's the important part. But for finances, though, definitely okay. We know the stats, we see the stats, right? A lot of businesses don't make it, and the reason why is because of financial management. People may be the best chef out there, they may be the best photographer out there, they may have the best hair products or whatever, but they don't understand the X's and O's, and that's the number. So that's very important to do. But I'm for me, I'm very passionate about, of course, business owners. I mean, you don't have to be a business owner for us to work with you, right? We work with people who are not business owners as well, right? But I'm big on it because when you go into being an entrepreneur, right? You're going out there, you're chasing your dream, you're taking a risk, right? The world says, I wouldn't do that if I were you, right? So I think that's so important. So I think that if anything, yeah, entrepreneurs, especially small business owners, have to have those resources, right? Because at one point, we were small, right? When we started, we were tiny, okay? And how we grew was we got the right information, we got around the right people, asked the questions. It's very important to do so. Not being scared to talk about it, okay? Can't be scared about talking about my finances, especially if you're talking about you want to be in business. Can't do that, I mean, if you think that, no one's going to see it, believe me, if we were going to see it throughout the year, and then at the end of the year, RS is going to see it. So, and you got to make sense, so it's very important to have that information, know about the information, and then once you learn about it, apply it, right? I would say that outside of any business owner that learns their own craft or what they do, you need to know where your money's going. So be an expert in that too. That's important. I mean, hey, if you're making $1 million a year, for example, you need to know where that $1 million is going. Okay, you need to know. Okay, you can't say I don't know where that's going. No, that's not the right answer. That is not the right answer. In 2023, that should not be the answer. Okay, we should be smart enough to know now that we need to know where our money's going. We need to know where it is, how it's performing. Okay, if it's not doing what it's supposed to do, okay, let's replan. Let's get this going. It's so important now. It's very important in today's economic status. Very important.
Well, we're based in Tulsa, and Tulsa is building an entrepreneurial hub, a tech hub, a BIPOC support hub, women hub, and they have many accelerator programs for people wanting to start up their business or have been in the business and trying to build it. But what I have found, some of the women that I know that have gone through them, they need more basic understanding. I mean, they'll take their idea, they'll do a business plan, they'll get them an LLC, and then they pitch. Well, then if they don't get any money, or even if they do get a little bit of money, then it's gone and they don't have that follow-up support. So, these kind of, hour-long discussions and can you share the PowerPoint too? I thought that was very helpful. There's a way to, Shoshana, to post that, the actual slides. Anyway, that's one of our missions in WOW. And as I said, I think it's very important for, that basic follow-up and basic learning. I've run into women that have their LLC, and I'll go, well, do you have your operating agreement? And they don't know what I'm talking about. and I would have thought the accelerator program would have explained what it is and why you need one. But we're grateful. The city, I think, and the residents are grateful that we have access to the growing entrepreneurial support. And you know, because all those accelerator programs you apply for and they're free, but you know, no system is perfect. And probably the best emphasis tonight is get back to the basics and you know, understand what you're doing, whether it's, you know, your personal life, building your generational wealth, whether you're an employee or you're a business owner. So you've done a great job, Shoshana, in you know, getting back to basics. You know, I may be a lawyer and I deal with finances in my legal cases, but I'm a business owner, but I'm not the best business manager, you know. So for me, even it's a constant learning process. I don't care how old you are, how long you've been doing the same thing. The world changes, society changes, pandemics happen. So anyway, I'm very grateful for you all, and I can say that on behalf of Crystal, who's driving, bless her heart, and she, you know, and thank you guys, you know, for being here. So it's 7:33. I don't have any more questions. So I'll let you guys go and you can turn off the recording, but we'll share your information and make sure people know that it's out there to review, because it's been very helpful.
Awesome.
So thank you again.
Thank you so much.
All right.
We
Good
appreciate
night.
it. Thank you very much. All right, take care.
Good night. Thank you.
All right,
Bye-bye.